This is my second video tutorial of your e-commerce API, and in this video tutorial this I'm going to tell you about the presentation layer, and I want to create a few of controller here. Okay, and just after that we will communicate with the application and the infrastructure layers. Okay, so before going to this, I want to tell you about my membership program. This is my membership program, and in this membership I will give you complete video tutorial on .NET Core, and just after that, I will provide you REST API, Angular, Dapper, Entity Framework Core, MS Test Unit, .NET Blazor, unit testing, HTML, CSS, jQuery, SQL Server, React in just 800 rupees. That is only a single time fees. That is one time fees, you can say. That is 800 rupees for Indian user and $15 for other country user. Okay. So it's not only a simple video tutorial I will provide you. My experience is 10 to 15 years in .NET technologies. So I will provide you project-based courses in just 800 rupees for Indian user and $15 for other country user. How to get this deal? Because in this deal, I will provide you complete project source code. I will provide you complete video tutorials and the resource material. Okay. So how to get this deal? Just fill just fill this form, that is the full stack development course, and your name, your email ID, your contact number, and the transaction reference ID or order ID or PayPal ID. If you are belong from India, just use this QR code to pay by using UPI ID. So that is 800 rupees to pay. And if you are belong from other country, just pay using PayPal. This is my PayPal QR code, and you can use my PayPal ID. narinkumar851@gmail.com. Okay, so just fill this form and get the membership. Hurry up guys, it's a limited time. I will increase the price of the membership. Okay, so hurry up and get the membership. And one more thing, membership, in membership I will provide you, you know that, project based tutorial. So it's not only a simple tutorial, I will provide you architecture level based and my 10 to 15 years based experience based courses. Okay, so continue with the project. Now I first start with the presentation layer. So here we have a presentation layer, and in presentation layer we have two directories. That first one is the abstraction layer. So in abstraction we just create a base API controller. So that is, the name is base API. So new item, and that is your MVC, your controller name. Okay, so that is the controller class. So just search it, controller, and you know that it's we have such directories. So under the directory we all know that these are shopping cart.presentation layer. That is a simple class library project. So you can just add a new class instead of the controller. So new empty file, and the name is API base controller.cs file. Now in API base controller class, we just add a base controller class. So controller base is the name, controller base. Okay, so controller base is actually inherit the class, that is install package Microsoft ASP.NET Core.MVC, find and latest version, that is based on 8.0. So the namespace is Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.MVC, that is controller base class. We all know that the API controller is handled by API controller annotations. So API controller. The next one is the route configuration. So you can use route configuration at the level of controller. So here we go for API/controller. Okay. The next one is to add the produces. And produces is actually which types of content this method is produces. That is based on type. And I want to define the content type. Content type is a application object JSON. Application object JSON I will provide you. Okay, so API based controller is the base controller. So just add in the abstractions. So here I'm going to add MediatR. So just use protected, and that abstract class, that is not only a simple class, that is a abstract class. So make it abstract class, API based controller class. So that is a abstract. Now I want to add a protected read only, and that is iSender. And what is the iSender? iSender is actually related to the MediatR package. So just I want to add a new package here, that is manage to get package library, and here I'm going to add a new package, that is MediatR. MediatR package is responsible to handle CQRS, and we all know that CQRS pattern. So install it, MediatR package. Now in API based controller class, just use control dot and using MediatR package iSender. Now you can use sender. Okay, and I want to initialize it in a constructor. So control dot and generate constructor. Okay, so everything is fine. Now in which we can add methods like failure results, and also we just add more functions. So just only create a base class here, that is abstract. Okay, now the second one is to add a that is product class, order class, users class, like that. Okay. Okay, so now the first controller in controllers directory, that is new empty file, and here we have a users controller. Okay, so users controller.cs file, and that class is the sealed class, and API based controller class is a abstract class. So abstract class is inherited in your users controller class. So here I am going to add API based controller class. So we all know that API based controller class is responsible, users controller class is responsible to initialize the constructor of your base class. So here I'm going to first of all make it sealed class, because I'm not I don't want to inherit that class. Okay, so make it the sealed class. The next one is to add constructor here, so CTOR, and in the constructor just I'm going to add iSender. And we all know that here we have a sender, that is the MediatR, and I also want to know initialize the base class with the sender. Okay, that is the problem resolved of your users controller class. In users controller, we all know that how to add different types of things. Okay, so add a users controller here, and in users controller we also know add iSender, and that is initialized in the base class, that is API based controller class. Okay, so I want to add some, that is API based controller have API controller and routing and all. Okay, so just we need to add also API based controller have a produces with the application of JSON object references, and this is for a documentation purpose for your Swagger. Okay, now just add some methods like HTTP post, and in HTTP post we need to add, that is control dot ASP dot Microsoft ASP.NET core.mbc, and that is HTTP post with the action. Just I'm going to add, that is for your action. Now the next one is to add that is produce a response type, and what response type I want to add here, that is status code and status codes dot status codes is actually existing in Microsoft ASP.NET Core .http dot status 200. Okay, and with the type is string. I mean to say that why we add produce response type, I mean to say that you generate a meaningful API documentation. so that you can say status code with the 200 okay produces this this HTTP post method. Okay, and what is the type? If you have, that is type of string I want to send to the client, that is string. Okay, so that is the method type of string I want to return, and with the status code. Okay, now the next one is produces response type, and if I got a error message like 400 bad request, so what is the status code is status codes dot status 400 bad request, and with the type is type of, that is with the problem detail page, problem details. Okay, and what is the problem details? We all know problem details is actually existing in Microsoft ASP.NET Core.mvc.problem details, where we have a type of the problems, title of the problems, error including in the problems. So if you got 400 bad request, that type of problem will return by the method. Okay, now here I'm going to add, that is public asynchronous task of iAction result, and that is for login. Now in which we can add from type, that is cancellation token, or you can say a login user command. Okay, so later on I will add in it, we add a parameter. So here I'm going to add return. Okay, so after that I will implement just after a few minutes. I want to add methods in your users controller first. Okay, so the next method is the register method. So just copy the whole process, just copy and paste for your register. So the first is HTTP post, and that is the action. I mean to say that just change it with the register. So the first one is the register, so action will come. Okay, now the next one is to add, that is a status code with the status 200 and nothing to return it in the register method. So the status code is status 200. Okay, but if you got an login, you just return a type of string type, I mean to say that token, I want to return it. Okay, so the next one is 200. Okay, got it. So just add a parenthesis. Now the register method also return a 400 bad request, and I want to return a type of problem details page. That is the same thing. Okay, so that is the register method, and that is the login method. Now I want to add another one, that is get user by username. Okay, that method is also included here. So just copy the whole code and paste it there. Now the action, I want to get it from the username. So here is not HTTP post, I want to add HTTP get, and I want to get the username. So in the query string we just got a username. Okay, so here I'm going to add, that is username. Okay, in a query string we just got it a username. Now the produces response type, that is the status code is 200. Okay, with the type of I want to get it any other, like we just implement it later, because I want to get it order header details with the related of username. Okay, so get user by username, that is the method name. Get user by username, and in which you can just pass from route and string username. Okay, and with the cancellation token, that is token. or you can say cancellation token is perfect name. Okay, now it will return also, that is written okay. Okay, so here we have three methods in your users controller, that is login, register, and get user by username. And also we know that after if you want to get user by username, it will produces a order header details. Okay, order header responses. So that type of entity will not added here. So it's okay with this one. Okay, so here we have three action methods like register, login, register, and username. How to call it from your app directory? So here we have a program.cs file. I want to first of all add the presentation layer and the controllers here, like that. Builder.services.add controller, but application uh, application layer does not contain any controllers, and controller is a separate uh, layer part. So just I want to add here in a different extension method. Okay, but before going to this, I want to add a assembly name. So just I want to add a new file, forget the assembly name, and make it a static class, that is assembly reference. Assembly reference.cs file, and that is the static class. Make it a static class assembly reference, and I want to put it here like public static read only assembly. This one is assembly, and now the name is assembly. Okay, so assembly, it's the name only. So type of assembly dot assembly, I want to get it. So assembly reference, this class, the type of assembly reference is a type, that is assembly reference, and I want to get it that class assembly. I mean to say that shopping cart dot presentation. So I want to get it assembly of the type. Okay, so save it, and now just call it again the extension method, and in the extension method I want to add a new class, that is uh, register controller. Now add a new class, that is register controller extensions .cs file, and in this class I want to make it static and make it a static function, public static. It will return iService collection, and that is controller register. Register controller is the method name, register controller with this iService collection. Okay, now I want to call it a services add controller dot add application part with the name of assembly, and how to call it an assembly reference. So first of all, assembly reference, and assembly reference is what? That is your class name. Assembly reference dot the name of assembly, I want to get it, that is assembly, because it's a static class and a static property. So I want to get it assembly. Okay, and what is this? That is okay. Okay, I want to call it by the name of your namespace. So just call it assembly reference, and that is the namespace name is shopping cart dot presentation, and just add it here. That is here. So shopping cart dot presentation dot assembly reference dot assembly, and you know what is this one, and I want to return it, return services. Okay, so shopping cart dot presentation dot assembly reference dot assembly is the namespace. So just I want to add it as a project reference in a project. So what is the project reference? Just add dependency, add project reference, and the project reference is the presentation. I want to add it here. So add. Okay, and I want to use using shopping cart dot presentation. Okay, so assembly reference is a type of assembly reference is equal. It's not a part of reflection. Assembly reference was assembly. It's a part of presentation. Okay, that's cool. Now save this, and we all know that how to call it from the program.cs file. So here we go for builder.services dot the register controller method in your program.cs file. Okay, that's cool. Now at this time I want to okay, using shopping cart.app. This one I want to call it first using this one. So uncomment this section first, and later on I will comment again, because I will use method chaining here. So just I want to run your project first. So shopping cart.app is the start point. So you know that that is your setup as a starting page, I want to call it. So just run it, and you will see that that will return public.service.register controller, and same the register controller is extension method will call the controller class, that is the users controller. So it call it users controller, where we have three methods. The first one login, register, and get user by username with their according to their endpoints. Okay, so it will call it with this URL https localhost 71668. Okay, and it will generate a perfect swagger. And here we have a endpoint API users login, API user register, API users username. Okay, and that's cool thing. So later on I will discuss on other endpoints. Thank you guys for watching this video, and keep watching all other videos.